big news today is that Michael Savage has been invited by the Cambridge Union in England to debate. That's right. Banned talk show host Michael Savage invited to England to debate political correctness. You're not going to believe this. Of course, I can't go there. They know that. But they're willing to debate me on this on video. Now, this centuries-old society hosted Churchill, Reagan, and Teddy Roosevelt. Yet our own country doesn't recognize who I am. They refuse to recognize. Fox has banned me. I understand because of the leprechaun. Here I am invited to Britain, where I've been banned, by the most vaunted 2-century-old Cambridge Union Society to participate in a debate next month. Yet I am banned by ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and Fox News. If you people really understood that you live in a totalitarian media dictatorship right now, I think you'd be more frightened than you already are. You rightly fear the Obama administration, but you really should be fearing the media administration. How is it that I, Michael Savage, invited to a centuries-old debating society, is never heard from on even Fox News? Doesn't that frighten you? Well, the fact of the matter is it should frighten you, and you shouldn't let them get away with it. I will read you the letter. Dear Mr. Savage, the Cambridge Union has been following you with great interest in recent weeks. We understand that you are fighting to overturn a ban on entering the UK imposed by the Home Office and former Home Secretary Jackie Smith. The decision to ban you has caused quite a stir, and we are keen to know how your situation progresses, especially now that Jackie Smith has resigned from the cabinet. I'm reading from the Cambridge Union Society, Cambridge, England, not Cambridge, Massachusetts. They go on. The Cambridge Union was founded in 1815, and is the world's oldest debating society. We have enjoyed the presence of many high-profile speakers, including American presidents Ronald Reagan and Theodore Roosevelt, and Nobel Peace Prize winner Henry Kissinger. We understand that your radio show, The Savage Nation, is the third most popular show in America, and although controversial, we think that you are more qualified than anyone to talk about the subject of political correctness in America and Britain. We write to invite you to speak at a debate on the subject of political correctness at the Cambridge Union Society. The debate will be titled, This House Believes Political Correctness is Sane and Necessary, and we would be delighted if you were available to speak in opposition of the motion. The debate will take place in Cambridge on Thursday, October 15, 2009. You could either address the society by live video link or pending any revisions of your legal status in person. We look forward to receiving your reply. Best wishes, Julian Domergue and Jonathan Lawrence, Presidents, Cambridge Union Society. It's up on michaelsavage.com. So here I am, invited to the Cambridge Union Debating Society, founded in 1815, an organization that hosted Prime Minister Winston Churchill, Ronald Reagan, Theodore Roosevelt, Henry Kissinger, and you never hear from Michael Savage on ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, or Fox News. What does that tell you about the media dictatorship that you are living in the United States of America? What does it tell you about Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly? You have an obligation to stand up and speak out for me. Because if you don't stand up and speak out for me by calling these shows and pressuring these organizations, you will be living in a greater dictatorship than you could ever imagine. Yes, fear the Obama administration, but you should also fear your media dictatorship. That's the story today on the Savage Nation.
I think what's an amazing fact about this, Michael, is that during the 1930s, when Winston Churchill in England was invited to exactly this sort of forum in order to debate his views, because he was the one major political figure in England who was arguing for increased military expenditure in the face of the rise of the Nazi threat, he was shouted down at these self-same forums by peaceniks, by people who didn't want war at any cost whatsoever.
So the communist left in England has long been active, and they try to stop Churchill from rebuilding the military. Had he not succeeded, Britain would have fallen to Germany.
Exactly. Exactly. You are his ideological successor, in other words.
That's amazing. Just amazing. Well, the question is, should I go? Now, of course, I can't go legally, physically, because Gordon Brown, who released the Lockerbie bomber, has imprisoned Michael Savage, in a sense, put up a wall. You know, where's the left screaming, Mr. President, tear down that wall? What is Gordon Brown so afraid of, by the way? What is it that I could say that would frighten him so much? The answer is, He is controlled like a puppet by fascist dictatorships in the Middle East, in my opinion. But let's get down to this. They want me to debate against political correctness. This House believes political correctness is sane and necessary. And we would be delighted if you were available to speak in opposition of the motion. How can you defend political correctness? What are the arguments in favor of controlling speech? Well, I guess you'd have to go to Kim Jong-il in North Korea to get that answer, wouldn't you, Beowulf?
You absolutely would. I mean, this is a method that has been used by people within democracies to a certain extent, but also by tyrants also who want to control the language, because changing language is one of the key ways they claim to changing society for the better. But it's often
yes,
been
but
for
the
worse.
American left, which has imposed so-called political correctness on America and on Britain, has basically stolen free speech from most of the citizenry. They have, in fact, stolen free speech in the name of free speech. The left are fascists at their core. Well, the big news is the Cambridge Union Society, Cambridge, England, has invited a banned talk show host, Michael Savage, to come to England, either in person or by video link, to debate. Isn't it amazing, Beowulf, that I'm not permitted to debate my situation on Fox News? Let's put aside the others. We know what to expect from them. Don't you think it's odd that Fox News is not embarrassed by their position?
And what's amazing is that they haven't even been bold enough to have proclaimed it to the world that they refuse to have you on. They simply ignore you, refuse to invite you. At least England, put it forward publicly.
Well, Beowulf, should I do this? I mean, what kind of traps do you think they're going to set for me over there?
Well, I mean, they're going to have a whole cadre of arguments against you. They're going to say that they're trying to change society for the better with political correctness.
Well, let's pause at that. Yes, they'll say that political correctness keeps people from saying violent things and vile things, and it keeps people peaceful. Well, let's go to Cuba, where political correctness is the norm. Castro assassinated his enemies in the beginning, imprisoned his enemies for over 30 years, and right now the people live in a prison camp where if they say anything against Castro or the regime, the communist regime in Cuba, they are rounded up by the secret police. That's exactly what political correctness is, Beowulf.
That's right. And what starts as political correctness in the name of keeping things safe and sane, so to speak, ends up often gravitating towards a dictatorship, towards a form of fascism.
Well, let me just conclude this now by saying the following. Our First Amendment was written to protect offensive speech, not polite speech. Polite speech does not need the First Amendment. My kind of speech was written specifically because of the First Amendment. So if you don't like Michael Savage, you may as well go to the U.S. Constitution and put an X through the First Amendment. And while you're at it, put an X through the Second Amendment and the Third Amendment. You may as well put an X through the whole Bill of Rights, because that's what these left-wing vermin are doing to us. And damn it, I am going to speak before the Cambridge Union, and I will do it by video link, and I will put Gordon Brown on notice that I will debate him anytime, anywhere, in any place. How could I say no to a debating society that has invited Ronald Reagan, Winston Churchill, Teddy Roosevelt, and Nobel Peace Prize winner Henry Kissinger? In fact, I should win the Nobel Peace Prize for fighting for free speech for all of the West, Beowulf. That's my final statement. I deserve a Nobel Peace Prize.
And this is something that transcends ideology. It doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right. This is an issue of free speech. This is an issue. Political correctness is something that curtails speech of all political persuasions. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. This is an effrontery to your freedoms.
I will, again today, focus on the Cambridge Union Society and ask the audience, as we've been doing now, should I go to Cambridge and do this?
Savage.